Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to absolutely dominate your lane with Jarvan. So they're like, this champion, I don't want to say he's broken or like even good, he's decent. But there is a way that you can seriously get really ahead in the early game and also provide a lot of value with him in the late game. So during the gameplay part, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Let's now talk about the build. And I don't encourage you to skip to the gameplay if you really want to play this, because the build is really important, and especially my explanation with it. So let's not waste any time and get into it. So I'm already going to talk a little bit about your playstyle, because that's what you need to understand this build. But I'll further talk about this and fully explain how it works during the gameplay, of course. Early game Jarvan, you deal huge damage. You deal huge poke damage and you win fights. So what do you want to build early game? Damage. So that's why you get the Black Cleaver. This is your early game damage item. And the thing about this is it also scales up to the late game. Like, this is also a good item in the late game. And what's even funnier is they buffed this item. Like, the item was already pretty strong, but instead of giving you 35 attack damage, it now gives you 40 attack damage. So your early game, you get the Black Cleaver. Okay, that's your item. Second item, boots. I mean, you get boots. Generally played at steel caps. Like, you kind of want to pick Jarvan into attack damage champions, because then you can spam armor. But if the enemy has a lot of CC, you could get the Mercury Sweat. But as I said, plated steel caps are generally going to be what you want. Then you can either go for the Sunfire Aegis immediately, or you can just rush the Gargoyle, Stoneplate, and Chat. Rush the Stoneplate if you want to be like a full tank and already, like, you know, already be that engaging tank that goes into the enemy and tanks up. So why do we have a Sunfire Aegis here? So when you go through that early game stage, that's where you kinda are gonna fall off damage wise. I'm not saying you're not gonna deal a lot of damage, you're just not gonna deal an insanely absurd amount of damage. So you still wanna use your damaging abilities, because it's gonna damage the enemy, it's gonna reduce their armor, because hitting your first ability reduces the armor. But you're not going to be the main carry anymore. That's why you want to be a tank and waste their time. So you get the Sunfire Aegis, and after that, completely situational. Like, it already becomes completely situational. Do you need anti-healing? Boom, you go for the Thornmail. Do you want to be fast and catch up to the enemy? Boom, you go for the Deadman's Plate. Does the enemy have Yasuo and other crit, or do they have a Rengar, for example? Boom, you go for the Random's Omen and you're going to tank up all that crit. Does the enemy just have a lot of attack damage champions like Darius, Lee Sin, stuff like that? Boom, you go for the Frozen Heart and you're going to reduce all of the enemy's attack speed. Of course, you're likely going to need a Force of Nature as well, because the enemy, you know, is likely going to have ability power, so you can throw that in as well. Feel like when you need it, go for the Force of Nature. This is going to be the best rune for, not rune, this is going to be the best magic resistant item for Jarvan, because he doesn't have any heals. I mean, if your team has a lot of healing, like a Soraka or a Nami, maybe you could go for a Spirit Visage, but nah. Force of Nature is just a better item. So, about the runes. Now, here is where it gets interesting, guys. Here is where it gets interesting. So, you guys may know Jarvan as the jungler who always goes Conqueror, right? Always Conqueror. And look, I'm not telling you guys right now that Conqueror is bad. But in the Baron lane, and the playstyle that I'm about to show you today, you do not go for the Conqueror, but boom! You go for the Ahri. Every time you poke the enemy with your first ability, you're gonna do even more damage with the Ahri. And it's like a 15% damage buff or something. Every time you're gonna poke with the Ahri as well. And of course, what are we gonna get with that? Boom, the champion rune as well. As I said, you really, like, in the early game, you're mainly focused on damage. And in the late game, you're focused on tankiness. So why would you get a rune that, like, why would you get a rune for late game damage? You don't need it. You want to go absolutely all in the early game, so you can make sure you dominate your lane and get yourself some kills. So you go for the champion rune on Jarvan. Always champion rune in the Baron lane. Third rune, I have Hunter Titan here, because as I said, I really don't like building Mercury threats on Jarvan, so that's why I generally go Hunter Titan, to at least have that tenacity. Like, when you kill all of the enemies or get assists, you're gonna have 20% tenacity, and you know, it's at least something. Like, you're not going to be perma-stunt or something like that. Now, for your fourth rune, you go for the Sweet Tooth, because you're going to need it in the lane. Like, you're going to dominate your lane, so you want to heal up even more just to make sure that you dominate. Because if you don't win your lane with Jarvan, it really sucks. Like, you just basically have to win the lane. So now, enough about the build. You go for Ignite and Flash. Yet again, very aggressive Ignite to kill the enemy. So let's get into the gameplay, because I want to tell you guys how to dominate the lane. Okay, so Jarvan, guys. I hate saying it, but Jarvan kinda sucks. However, there is two things that he's good at. First of all, winning early game with his pokes. That's what he's good at. Secondly, being very tanky in the late game, engaging and buffing your allies. So actually, buffing your allies, I mean it with your third ability and with your first ability. Because first of all, when you hit your first ability on the enemy, it shreds their armor. It shreds their armor, so all of your allies are gonna do bonus damage to that enemy. Secondly, your third ability, when you throw the flag on the ground, it buffs the attack speed of all of the allies around it. Oh, look at this. This is the poking, by the way. You can already clearly see how it works. But I'm going to continue talking about that. I quickly want to mention about the third ability. You're actually going to see me later on in this game test out how big the range is of the third ability attack speed. You're going to see me do it. I'm not going to say anything about it right now. I'm literally going to test it in this game. But look at this, look at this, look at this. He's very low. And do you guys know how... Boom. So how did I kill him? It's simple. So first of all, obviously with the champion rune, hitting my first ability, blah blah blah. But there is another thing with Jarvan that's incredibly powerful, which is his passive, guys. When you hit an enemy, you deal bonus physical damage equal to 8% of their max HP. And this has like an 8-second cooldown or something like that. So if the Renekton is at like 20% HP in the early game, all I need to do is just take away 12% from that, and the remaining 8%, boom, is gonna get killed with a basic attack. So I used my ignite, used my third ability, used my first ability, and then ignite and basic attack, and boom, as you saw right there, I just bursted him down. Like, he didn't even know that he was coming. He used his barrier, but he just didn't even survive. He couldn't do anything. You can't do anything against that. So that was how I killed him really cleanly. Of course, whenever I can, boom, shooting my first ability just to be super annoying. Like, it's so annoying to play against a Jarvan. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. He's already at 80% HP. Now, he's kind of lucky that he's playing Renekton, because Renekton heals up. But you can clearly see, like, look at this, look, just look. It could have gone for the kill there. I was thinking about it, but I was like, nah, I don't have ignite yet, and, yeah, it was just... Oh, now I actually did go in. I missed, sadly. I actually missed. That's really, really sad. I need to run here because he has his ultimate. And if he went under my turret, if he went a little further there, I would have ulted him under my turret, ignite, first ability, and killed him. Guaranteed. I would have guaranteed killed him. But he was smart enough to not dive me like that. Oh, I missed. That's sad. If I hit, he would have died yet again. Like, I'm wasting this opportunity. I can kill him, but now I can't anymore. I could have killed him many times right there. Yeah, here I'm just poking him, but... look at this! He's so low, but I'm low as well now. Like, now it's too late. I kinda screwed it up. I should have definitely killed him there. But you can clearly see, like, I'm kinda making some mistakes right now. If I played that a little more cleanly, hit more of my first ability, I would have definitely killed him. But you can clearly see how Jarvan is such a dominant laner. He has... The first ability is a free poke, and it deals damage equal to like 15% of the enemy's HP in the early game if you go for the champion rune and Ari. It's just absolutely incredible, but you have to keep in mind, the later we get into the game, the weaker this poking power gets. And we're already at like 4 minutes, and already at this point, it's not amazingly strong anymore. So I really want to stress how important it is to really play aggressively in the early game. Like, in the first few minutes of the game, you really want to go ham on the enemy. You really, really, really want to go get those kills, guys. Of course, I'm going to rotate to my team. I need to help them. Like Jarvan, as I said, Jarvan is pretty good at these, these fights. But the enemies have pretty good champions against me. Like, Graves is a really good champion against me. You're gonna see me position absolutely horribly in this team fight, by the way, and I'll talk about it, what happened. So let's take a look at what I'm gonna do here. Let's take a look. So I used my third ability to go in. I actually completely missed it. I got rooted forever. I go in. Actually, I did fine. No, I did fine here. Oh, never mind. I did totally fine. Wow. Okay, that was actually perfect. Yeah, here I died. But it's fine. But what I did there, I thought that I inted, but no, that was good. So what I did is my engage was not amazing, but... So the ultimate of Jarvan has multiple purposes, right? The ultimate has multiple purposes, and you can see that I did still go for the Mercury strats in this game because that Lux root felt like forever. I really don't want to get rooted like that again. But yeah, what I was saying is your ultimate can either be to lock down an enemy that dives to your team. Like let's say the enemy dives my team, boom, I use my ultimate and there's walls around that enemy. Or you can keep away enemies, especially because you're Jarvan, and especially when you get the stone plate. Because what you can do is use your ultimate on their backline, you know, on the enemy Veigar and the Lux, for example. And then what I do, I use my stone plate and my second ability to get barrier and bonus health. So I'm just gonna waste their time basically. You're gonna waste their time, and like your team is gonna be in a 4 versus 3 or 4 versus 2 situation, and they should win, right? Like you're giving your team a huge advantage. Look at this, by the way. I'm still dealing good damage. Like, look, what am I doing? Oh, that's so disgusting. Look at how I just stole that. Oh my god, really? Did I really just do that? I remember, like, I was so cheeky. I went for his heal comp and honeycomb, sorry. I just stole it. I mean, yeah, that's another thing that you can do on Jarvan, guys. He's pretty low, by the way. Like, these are moments that you need to look for the kills. Look at this. I went in, boom, boom, and boom. These are the moments that you can go in. When the enemy, like, look, let me tell you how you, like, wait, how do I say this? How do I say this right? Let me tell you why this is looking so easy. So, like, if you're with a normal champion against another normal champion, you see an enemy at 20% HP, you're like, okay, I need to kill 20% of their HP. I want you guys to listen carefully here, because what I'm about to say makes sense, but you need to listen carefully. So it's like, okay, I have to deal 20% of his HP, which is quite a lot, or it's not a lot, but basically the mindset is I have to deal 20%. With Jarvan, it's different. Why is it different, you may think? Because your passive already deals 8% of their HP. So you basically deduct this passive of the damage that you have to deal. So you engage when the enemy is at 20%. All you have to do, ignite, use your flag, first ability, you can even use your ultimate, and then your basic attack is gonna finish it off. Right? You don't need, like, of course you're dealing the 20%, but your thinking process is different. Most enemies are not gonna expect it, because they're gonna be like, I have 20% HP, so he has to deal 20% of my damage. I have to be careful here though. Yeah, I have to be careful. Oh my god. I don't have... What? He actually, like, what happened right there, I won that fight, but it was really risky. I won it with my quick little burst combos, because the thing with Jarvan is he has poke damage. It's true that he has sustained damage with his third ability, because you get bonus attack speed when you put it on the ground. But really, Jarvan is not meant to continuously basic attack the enemy. Like, when you're up against a champion like Renekton, you're not gonna win a longer fight. And that looked like it's basically gonna be my last fight that I'm gonna win a 1v1 against the Renekton. Oh, look, what is happening here, by the way? Because you were seeing that he was clearly catching up to me, but I was still able to burst him down. What's happening here? Oh my god, look at this. Oh, that is so sad. Graves is like such a good champion against Jarvan, because like he gets close to me and he wins the sustain game. That's the thing with Jarvan, guys. Like you can see right now, like even though it seems like I was dealing a lot of damage in my lane, I mean I am dealing a lot of damage, but the sustain damage of Jarvan is really, really weak, guys. It's really weak. Wow, that RA just dealt a lot of damage, by the way. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Don't play to your weaknesses. Like right there, I played to my weaknesses. I went for the longer fight. I actually did that against the Renekton too, but I was somehow able to still kill him. But later on in the game, that's not gonna work anymore. Like right now, I can still do it because, you know, early game, I still had a little bit of my champion rune and it's just the early game. But later on, you really have to act like a tank. Like a tank, like a support for your team, just a very annoying Jarvan. Okay, let's take a look at this. So I'm looking at what's happening here. I have my ultimate. I'm just poking with my first ability, right? Like, you can always do that. Just do it. Like, don't waste your time. Just use your first ability. And now you can see, like, the route is not that long anymore. In this game, I kind of had to go for Mercury sets. By the way, guys, never mind, not right now. I'll talk about that later. Oh, nice poking in their backline, though. The Lux is so annoying, though. My ultimate was a pretty big fill there, not gonna lie. Yeah, here I just engage. go for the stone plate so I can just tank up some of the damage. But it's a Veigar, right? Like, he has his stupid ultimate and he can kill me. But it's fine. Like, I guess it's okay. Oh my god! He got wrecked! Did you see that? He just went into the wall of the Veigar. And the wall was invisible. That's a play that you can do with Veigar, by the way, guys. It's so amazing to see. What was I talking about? Yeah. You know, if you guys want to support the channel, make sure you give the video a like. Put down a comment. You know, as I said, just smash your head on your keyboard. It helps the channel with the YouTube algorithm. And by the way, you know, there's actually so many people joining the coaching sessions. I'm currently coaching like 10 people or something. And it's you know, I'm seeing a lot of improvements on these people. And I'm having a lot of fun with it too. So if you're potentially interested in coaching from me, you know, I play every single role in the game. I'm a challenger player. Well, currently not challenger, but I've reached challenger consistently with playing even troll builds in ranked match. So, you know, if you want private sessions, so not only YouTube videos, that sounds very wrong, by the way. But yeah, if you want private sessions, you know, you can check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description to it. All right. Just got my Rift Heralds right here. And actually, there is a thing that I'm wondering about right now. If you get the Rift Herald, no, never mind. Forget what I'm saying. So look, I think here is where I'm gonna test out the range of my third ability. And I'll talk about that because it actually surprised me so much. Because, you know, I always knew that using your third ability, the flag, gives you bonus attack speed, you and your allies. But I never really knew how big the range was. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna surprise a lot of you. If you don't really play Jarvan, this is gonna surprise you a lot. I can guarantee you. And by the way, here you can see, I'm not dealing damage anymore, right? Like, my damage is pretty much, well, not zero, but it's not really worth anymore. Like, look, I can of course poke him here, but it's really not gonna deal that much damage anymore. My team is just completely demolishing them right there. It's gonna be kind of funny because the enemies are gonna make somewhat of a comeback. I'm not gonna say whether or not they won or lost. I'm just gonna say that I guess it's gonna become a little interesting. No, it's gonna become pretty interesting. Yeah, I got a nice little turret right there with the Rift Herald as well. Oh, I didn't have my first ability. I was gonna jump on him otherwise. And we would have killed him. No! Nice! I can tank up with my stone plate and my second ability. There it is. Tanking for my team. And this is what you do as a Jarvan, guys. Even though we didn't get a kill, it was a good example of how to dive with a Jarvan right there. And of course, you can use your flag. You don't always have to use your flag to engage with it. You can just use it to buff your allies' attack speed. Like, it's actually really good. And we'll get to the point where I'm actually going to test out how far it goes. And then you'll see that it's actually really good to just use. Like, just use it in teamfights. Never hold on to it. Use it because you're going to be buffing your entire team's attack speed, guys. Demacia. It's Team Demacia. I think I'm gonna do it here, aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna do it here. I remember I left the scuttler just to test out how far I get. Like, look, I'm checking where I can get the attack speed. See that? Wait, I'm gonna show you guys. Wait. I'm actually gonna end up. Look what's gonna happen. I was playing around and I actually lost the scuttler. But look. Here you can see my attack speed. See that number? 1.15. Look at the range. Look. I placed it down right there. Place it down right here. And I get the bonus attack speed from all that range. Look at how big this range is. So any teammate within the range of your third ability is gonna get that bonus attack speed. Meanwhile, we were actually losing a teamfight in mid lane. I was not paying any attention to that, unfortunately. That's a really good ultimate. Unfortunately, I'm still dead because the Graves are sitting on me. But I just wanna tell you guys right now that the range on the third ability, you know, the buffing attack speed range, is huge. I didn't know it was that big. Like, I've played some Jarvan, but I didn't know the range was that big. It's absolutely huge. So that's why I just said, just use your third ability. Just put it on the ground, because especially your ADC is gonna benefit a lot from it, guys. He's really gonna benefit a lot from it. Or she. Sorry, there's women ADCs as well. You can't disrespect my girl Kaisa And what is that other one? Vayne. And what is the other one? There's another one. Misfortune. There it is. Did I miss any? Well, Senna is technically not an ADC, right? But any other? Oh, Jinx. Jinx. Of course, Jinx. I forgot about Jinx. But yeah. Like, that's actually incredible. It makes Jarvan seem pretty good, actually. Like, a pretty good team fighter with that third ability. Because, like, I think it gives, like, a 25% attack speed buff to all of your teammates. That's huge. Like, that's not even lit. That's not even decent. That's huge. But look at this. I just get them in my ultimate, and they're all dead, guys. Easy peasy kills right there. Really, really nicely done. Of course, also when taking turrets or taking the dragon or something like that, you want to use your third ability. You know, like here, I place down my third ability. Everyone is benefiting from the bonus attack speed. And the enemy surrenders. I mean, that's what I would do as well. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's take a look at how much damage I actually did. And let's take a look at how much damage I tanked up. Because these are going to be important numbers to look at when playing Jarvan. So, come on, come on, come on. Better than 79% of the Jarvan players. I did 18,000 damage and I tanked the most damage by far. 24,000 damage tanked, guys. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give the video a like and yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.